Every single time Link steps through this timeless temple's massive, elusive front door during one of his quests or returning to put the Sword of Evil's Bane back in its pedestal, once the current source of evil's been vanquished, we are entranced by the chorus of what sounds like 100 heavenly saints immersed in a beautiful melody that is something else entirely. Stopping to simply listen to this very simple yet mystifying opera continue on loop for minutes on end while admiring the very pristine gold and marble walls, the opal floors, and the large stained window that isn't too far off resembling that of a church window, wondering where the sound is coming from. The Temple of Time is a holy place, being the very literal gateway between the physical and spiritual realms. The door on the other side leading to the sacred realm, in which the iconic symbol of peace and make any wish come true Triforce resides. This realm of blissful white as shown in Ocarina of Time and Silence also happens to be the residence of the Golden Goddesses when they departed from their finished tasks of creating law and order within Hyrule, creating and leaving behind Hylia to do the rest of the work for them, and serve as an all-mother and second sort of deity to the Hylians. Also, residing above the surface rather than deeper in the temple is the Sacred Grove, wherein the Master Sword resides upon waiting for the next incarnation of Link to return several hundred years later or however long it may be to wield against a rising darkness. The iconic temple has made its appearance in several games, and each one of its themes is as beautiful and compelling as its last version in the previous title. But nothing quite hits the soul as deeply as what Twilight Princess's Temple of Time theme, which plays in the entrance of the actual interior of the temple, does. It's always been my favorite soundtrack in any of the games, but while it follows the same keys as what Link can play on the ocarina for the Song of Time, there's something different about it that puts it in its own category. This temple is not like any of the other ones, which, by the way, yes, all the other temples hold a very important role to the respective races who claimed ownership of said temples due to ancestral lineage. And while most of them likely have some religious and spiritual connection to the Gorons, Zorons, Gerudo, and Hylians, nothing gets as important as the Temple of Time, both physically, spiritually, and metaphorically. It marks as a holy grail of sorts, an ancient symbol of when life began, how close both the spiritual and physical realms really brush up against each other, as well as how precious life is. Hence the reason why the temple is built so elaborate and complex, this being because it's literally a shield for the sacred realm, and even the 3 spiritual stones given to the Goron, Zora, and Deku tree are the only keys to get the sacred realm's door open. Do you have any idea where I'm going with this? Maybe you do. Actually, you're all really smart. I'm sure that you have. That means I don't have to go into too much lore in history and go straight into theorizing, to which you'll be able to smoothly follow along. Now that I have reminded you all of the importance of the temple and the reasons for its existence, we can now begin to fully understand exactly what the chorus is in the temple's entrance. It's not a pretty soundtrack. It's something else. They are timeless spirits locked in song, humming the same magical tune that corresponds with the Ocarina of Time, which is just another one of the temple's keys. I theorize that these voices, I honestly cannot count how many, are the spirits of the previous sages, and those sages not being the ones that confront Midna and Link upon their discovering the mirror's shattered state. Those 7 sages, now 6 due to G-Man offing one of them after his failed execution, are not seen in the Temple of Time nor even spoken of, in fact, anywhere, and we don't see them again after Link and our lovely Imp Lady reassemble the mirror. The voices could also be Hylian equivalents to angels? I've never seen one in the games, so I don't know. Or maybe they are previous royal family members or highly praised soldiers who died while protecting the Temple of Time. Given that we see a dark knight in the temple guarding the sacred weapon, the Dominion Rod. So it's a possibility. Regardless for who's doing this singing or why they're doing it, I think another very important factor to point out would be how timeless the song sounds. It sounds almost melancholy, but it's neither happy nor exactly sad. It's just frozen, yet not unholy. It's a loop of duty, and that the temple will never stop being important or having a role to play, even if it's crumbling and rotting in a state which brought a tear to all of our eyes in Breath of the Wild. It's a symbol of Hyrule's birth, everlasting history, and the doorway to the most powerful artifact known to the world. That, in itself, makes it a place worthy of the respect we see and hear. Anyway, my lovely Zelda fanatic fans and button smashers, that concludes this very short theory I whipped up for all of you. It honestly just came to me from listening to the soundtrack for half an hour and finally being able to vocalize how it made me feel and what it sounded like. What do you think? Is the chorus just a pretty theme that I'm clearly reading too much into? Spirits worshipping the golden goddesses? Or is it something more directed to the symbolism of the temple's reasons for existing? A vocalized theme that sends a message to all those whom step through time and into the temple's untouched halls? Let me know in the comments below what you think of both my theory and your own thoughts on the tune drifting through the air. And I will see you all next time in the next video. Ciao!